Welcome, Catherine. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
And just want to ask you if you could describe your role and the industry that you work in.
Excellent. Thank you, Luciana. I'm the General Manager in a poultry integrated business for Baiada Poultry. My role at the moment, I look after nutrition. I look after the operation side of feed mills, technical side, including veterinary health and welfare, and development in terms of looking at different feeding or efficiency ideas within the business. So that primarily is my current role. In previous career, I have been in the industry for about 30 years, and I have worked across the supply chain in terms of quality control and procurement of a lot of the ingredients that go into the chicken feed. So at the moment, I work in the back end of the business with feeding the chickens, farming, and the production side.
Fantastic. And just while you're answering that question, I'll just ask you a little bit about your background and the pathway that you took to get to where you are today.
Yeah, no, that's a really interesting question, because a lot of people have asked me, and we ask a lot of people, is what brings people to agriculture? And a lot of the people that we do ask have a family background of agriculture, so it is familiar to them. For myself, though, had no experience with agriculture, was a city girl, never thought I would end up in such a role. So I would almost say that I fell into the career. My first degree was in food technology and nutrition. Often thought that I would go down the sort of the human nutrition pathway. I had an opportunity to work with a poultry company when I first graduated from university, and that was as a chemist in the laboratory, and that's where I started. From there, I just kept moving different positions, had lots of opportunities, and grew within the industry. Yeah, it was totally unexpected, but has been very fulfilling.
Wonderful. Thank you for that initial insight into who you are and where you work, and a little bit about your pathway. If someone was interested in working in chicken meat production, and I know you focus on nutrition, which is a really important aspect of chicken meat production and obviously all animal production, but what sort of training options and pathways are available for anyone interested in chicken meat production?
Chicken meat production is such a diverse business. Industry processes something around 14 million birds. So the amount of people that's employed in the industry is huge. When you look at the business, we employ engineers, we employ human resources, we would employ accountants, nutritionists, farmers, procurement in terms of grain procurement. Look, I think the list is endless. We've got sustainability people. So I think when you think about poultry, just don't think about farms and sheds. It's big business. It's very corporate, and there's lots of opportunities to actually work throughout the supply chain once you get your foot in the door. In terms of studying, a lot of people do come in with a Bachelor of Science, but a lot of people do a similar TAFE course where they are able to then come in at different levels within the industry. But if you are open-minded and you're not afraid to take up opportunities, the world is your oyster. You can go anywhere in the business if you have the ambition to, regardless of your qualification. It's a very small industry. Everybody knows each other. We're very loyal. And for me, I've been in the industry for 30 years, and it's the time now in my career that I want to give back and mentor the young people coming through so they can be similar to what I am. So obviously my background is nutrition. I have continue to do nutrition work on a day-to-day basis. Love nutrition. It's very interesting. Human nutrition, psychology, don't do psychology. Animals, much easier. They get a diet and they respond and perform, and that's quite a lot of satisfaction. And even though I am in a poultry business, I do formulate for turkeys, ducks, pigs, quail. I think I said ducks already. I've done dairy. So it's multi-species, and so very interesting across the portfolio that I do. And the main thing that I enjoy in any part of the business, and everybody says it when you're in the industry, is that I don't know what I'm walking into day by day. No 2 days of my 30 years has ever been the same. And I like that. Some things you walk into a bit of a train smash. Some days it's not a train smash. You're pleasantly surprised at some of the wins that you get. And it's quite fulfilling, and as I said, it's quite fulfilling.
Fantastic. Catherine, you highlighted so many really important points, because one of the most important points you made there is that there are so many industries and roles that impinge on the supply chain of agriculture. Such an important thing to talk about, especially with young people interested in careers or unaware of the careers. There's so many individuals that input. You talked about accountants, and what else did you say? You said
human resources,
human resource, procurement, legal, virtually every single career area that impinge our lives also interact in agriculture. And that's such an important thing because there's so much of a stereotype that agriculture equals old man on a tractor. And it's far from and I think that's really important. That's part of the role of today's panel, is to really talk about what is the real deal in terms of what happens in the world of agriculture, and that there are so many opportunities and no one day is exactly the same.